What to do, where to go, what's happening and when. The spotlight's on fun and excitement all this week from the Lehigh Valley and beyond. So check out your calendar and let's go!
Hi, Grover Silcox here. On tonight's show, we'll have you riding the rails in Kutztown, climbing shadowy spiral staircases in Doylestown, and bouncing in Bethlehem. So what are we waiting for? Let's go!
Sky Zone is a great place to bring the kids to have fun. You really never understand how much fun it is to jump until you're surrounded in an arena of trampolines. We have ultimate dodgeball courts. We have Sky Slam. We have a foam pit and our main jumping arena where everyone could jump together. We have glow-in-the-dark jumping. Glow happens every Friday and Saturday night from 7 to 11 o'clock. We run 2 sessions, one 7 to 9 and one 9 to 11. You can experience jumping in a whole new light.
I like that we got to jump around, play dodgeball, shoot some hoops. It was really fun.
The younger kids in one section and the older kids in the other. It was real safe, and it gets great exercise.
Jumping is for everybody, and you would think, while it's mainly for kids, we offer a SkyFit program for adults. It's great, it's healthy. The sensation of jumping is like floating in space. For a fraction of a second when you're airborne, it's complete weightlessness, and you're just captured in the moment.
It's just a great experience. I know the parents were happy. Really looking forward to maybe coming back in the future.
Hey, grab the kids and climb aboard. We're riding the Allentown and Auburn Express.
This is the Allentown and Auburn Railroad, and we've been in business here in Kutztown since 2013, and we run from here down to Topton, Pennsylvania and back. The railroad itself was originally built into Kutztown in 1870, so the building we're standing in is quite historic. We like to help bring that history back in time, let people enjoy themselves and learn a little bit about the area when they come to visit us. This is the pride of our fleet, built for Bethlehem Steel way back in 1937 by a predecessor of General Motors. It's got 800 horsepower, it's been lovingly restored. This is where your levers would go to work your brakes and so forth. Here's the throttle and the reverser. It's the second oldest locomotive in active service in America. The passenger car that we've restored and fixed up was built in 1923. They were in service until the early 1980s when they were replaced. And this one is lovingly restored. The seats have all been refinished. You could see the old woodwork and metalwork back when everything had really nice detail. People that come out have a fun time. It's long enough where you get your money's worth, but it's short enough that your kids don't get cranky. So our sweetheart trains are this Saturday and Sunday, 11 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 3 in the afternoon. Take you and your loved ones down to Topton and back. It's just over an hour long, very kid-friendly. So for 12 and up, the ticket prices are $12. Once you hit 65, we give you a senior's discount. 3 to 11 years old, we give you a discount. And if you're 3 or under and you bring your parents, well, heck, we'll let you on for a penny. At night, it gets exciting. That's when the romance on the rails really gets started. And what we do there, 5:30, this is a reservation-only train. You have to be 21 and older. Take a ride with us, a nice trip through the countryside at night. You get a glass of wine or unlimited coffee. But it's a lot of fun. It is very romantic. We have people that come back. So like every good train, we have an engineer and a conductor. The engineer is basically driving the train.
206.
Conductor 206.
All right, Frank, we're coming back 1 link.
And the conductor is sort of the in charge of the train, and basically just make you feel welcome, make sure it's an enjoyable trip. So we love to have you come out, not only this weekend, but we run year-round. We have a lot of different events that are a bunch of different themes. We run ice cream social trains. We have a steam locomotive coming in later in the year. Just a ton of fun that we have here. Very family friendly. Like I say, it's a great way to fill a morning or an afternoon. You get a lot of fun, a lot of history, and you still have time to look around and do something else after you're done. Just let us know we're coming so we can save you a seat, and we hope to see you on the railroad.
What's spooky, gothic, and fun to escape? If you said Doylestown's Fonthill Castle, you're spot on.
Fonthill Castle is mysterious, eccentric, concrete castle that just delights and surprises and is really just an amazing place to visit. So we do tours 7 days a week. The tour that we take, which is about 30 minutes, which sort of leads up to the excitement of the escape room.
This building, this castle, is really an escape room designer's dream. It has a unique beauty and an intrinsic sense of mystery and intrigue.
Henry Mercer started off his career as an archaeologist and decided to become an arts and crafts tile maker. Henry Mercer created the Fonthill Castle, and it is this unique concrete castle decorated with tiles from his own tile work, as well as historic tiles from around the world.
A lot of people don't really know what an adventurer he was. We were able to base our escape room on one of his fantastic adventures. He went on a mission in northern France in the late 1800s to find Bluebeard's castle. And this story is really built on what Henry might have seen and what he might have brought back from that castle and what mysteries it might hold.
He was really fascinated by this fairy tale and designed his tiles about the Bluebeard fairy tale. So that's certainly one of the big things to look for since it leads up to the escape room.
When you walk into the room, you will see everything from treasure chests to artifacts that might have been discovered along the way, even some fossils that he might have dug up during some of his adventures in Europe. You meet an archaeologist.
I am Alex von Trockman,
who has a deep belief that there's a secret hidden within that room, but no one seems to be listening to her, and no one wants to check it out. So you happen to land in that room around the same time that she does, and she petitions you for your help to find the secret of the wind room here at Fonthill Castle.
so let's solve this mystery together.
There's around 10 multi-layered puzzles in this room. They have 45 minutes to solve the puzzle before their tour guide gets back. And some, unfortunately, are unable to crack the codes and solve the puzzle for themselves. But that doesn't mean that they still can't have a great time.
Bethlehem was founded by a small group of Moravians in the mid-18th century. Historic Bethlehem has a church and chapel tour all through February to show you where Moravians worshiped then and now.
The Church and Chapel Walking Tour is a focused walking tour for the month of February. It offers visitors a glimpse of the first 3 worship spaces here in Bethlehem. We're going to start here at the Gemein House. It's a 1741 structure and is the oldest in town. Gemein House means community house, and it was the building that all of the Moravians lived in at one time. Within this Gemein House, there's one space, and it's called the Saal. And And this is where men and women would come and worship together in the Saal. It just has a lot of history and meaningfulness to the current church. It is very simple. The Moravians wanted you to focus on the service itself. The Saal is one significant difference. You have this red German script around the top of the walls, which is actually Christ's blood and righteousness. It's a hymn. And it was just a reminder of Christ's presence in your life and in the service itself. If you were to walk into any Moravian church anywhere in the world, you will see an open Bible at the front of the church space. Here at the Saal, we actually have a historic German Bible. Guests would actually get to go almost behind the scenes. So you'll walk through the passage between the Gemeinhaus and the Old Chapel, which are connected. So the Old Chapel is quite a beautiful space. The red carpet really stands out and jumps at you against those white walls. So at the sanctuary, that's an 1803 to 1806 federal style building. It's on the National Register of Architectural Places you have to see. It's quite a feat of engineering because there's a large belfry that's on top of that building. You kind of expect those pillars you see in Gothic cathedrals, and there are none. So it's quite remarkable to walk in and think, wow, it's quite a large open space. It's very bright and beautiful. There's quite an elaborate pulpit when you kind of look at these other pulpits we've seen in the other spaces. The tour lasts about an hour, and it does go outside for short periods of time, so do bring your coat, and if it's raining, an umbrella is a good idea.
On the road again. Do, 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 do. Hey, you know, country music star Willie Nelson, he has a Martin guitar he calls Trigger. He says as long as Trigger holds up, he'll keep playing. If you want to see what goes into the making of a Martin guitar like Trigger, well, the company has a great museum and a factory tour. Check it out.
Welcome to the Martin Guitar Factory here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. We're going to take you on a little tour so you can see some of the highlights. Martin Guitar is known for making the best flat-top steel string acoustic guitars in the world. Martin Guitar came to this area in the early 1800s, 1833 in fact. Started out in New York City and then moved down to the Nazareth area in 1839. In 1964, we moved here to this location on Sycamore Street, which is where we do the current factory tours. This is the Stauffer guitar from 1834. See some beautiful workmanship. This one's been around for a while. We look at the back of this guitar. There's some flamed maple, ebony and ivory, which we no longer use, but back then that was one of the important inlays. Special Stauffer-style tuning mechanisms that were imported from Germany. These old strings don't always stay in tune, but they still work. The museum, it's a timeline of not only Martin history, but music history. The instruments of the age, everything from the 1800s to current day. You're looking at the history of manufacturing, specifically here in the Lehigh Valley, but manufacturing in general. You're looking at music history. You'll see artists and names and instruments that have been around for a long time. The guitar enthusiast, you're seeing guitars built. Chris is installing ribbon lining on one of the authentic series guitars. And this is being done in the custom shop. Custom shop is where we produce one-off guitars. They can be one instrument, they can be 10 instruments, but there's something outside the standard line. The craftsmanship at this factory is unparalleled.
What I'm doing is rough shaping the neck right now.
When you get into the factory tour, I think the thing that surprises people who come and visit is that there are so many people working here. There's close to 500 people working in this factory. Bart's taking down the sides, which means he's blending the neck into the fingerboard. This particular model is a new one. It's an arts and crafts model. It has some pretty ornate inlay on it. This is one of the exciting things that you get to see here when you come on tour. This is robotic polishing. This is a little bit different from what we've seen throughout the rest of the factory. The robots allow us to be much more efficient in this process. This was something that was also very difficult to do by hand. For me, is such a special place. There's some really, really cool guitars in here, and I'm not going to give them all away, but there's definitely some instruments that you want to come here and look at. Some instruments that you may never see elsewhere, but they're all unique in their own way. It really just gives you a sense of the entire Martin history. The tour is available Monday through Friday. We recommend a reservation for larger groups, over 10 people. But the tour is free, and that's one of the most wonderful things about it. Just come and visit us. The best times are from about 11 o'clock till 2 o'clock.
Woo! It's party time! Flappers, put on your cloche hats, and guys, grab your fedoras, because Easton Siegel Museum wants to take you back to the Roaring '20s. The Siegel Museum's Cat's Meow exhibit takes you back to the Roaring '20s when flappers, fashions, and free spirits reigned supreme.
Easton was pretty lively, you could say, with speakeasies, brothels, and all sorts of things. We have an old bathtub. We have one of our men dressed up in his little boater hat and his gal to kind of signify that partying was part of the lifestyle here, especially the nightlife in Easton during the 20s, and Southside Bethlehem as well.
While time traveling through the Golden '20s, you'll see a wide array of artifacts and objects of art from this decadent decade. You could even enjoy a vicarious drive in what appears to be a vintage convertible.
One of my personal favorites is the vaudeville sign that was on top of the Roxy Theater, and it still has some of its original bulbs in it. We have a collection of textiles and dresses that are really wonderful. We also have a really wonderful Egyptian head that's made out of plaster that one of our members loaned to us, and it's actually portraying Marlene Dietrich. And she has these really wonderful metal eyelashes, and it looks just like her. And the Egyptian style was also very, popular during the 20s.
In keeping with the theme, the Siegel Museum's throwing a Sheiks and Shebas night, complete with wine and dancing.
Sheiks and Shebas, we will have alcohol, hors d'oeuvres. I'll be giving tours of the Cat's Meow exhibition, and you'll get to see really just the 1920s come to life. And of course, we'll be showing the Sheik as well in the auditorium all night.
Terry Lynn Lubineski, a local dance instructor and 1920s aficionado, will show you how to do the Charleston, one of the popular dance crazes of the period. Terry was kind enough to give me a few pointers during my visit.
It's a stepping and moving and turning and basically just letting yourself go. It gets its home from jazz music and the African American music from Harlem.
Terry also has her own collection of 20s artifacts and fashions on display in the museum, including a wide selection of hats, particularly cloches, which were the tight caps worn by the 1920s flappers.
I've always been a hat person, and I just fell in love with the styling of the 20s and began to find and search for cloche hats, which were also known as bucket hats, and connected them with the dancing and all of the history that goes with them. This particular hat has a big brim in the front, and it has some gross grain ribbon, which was very popular then. It has several layers. Look at the back, beautiful. And you had to wear the cloche hat way down on the forehead.
Oh, is that right? Sort of.
You had to almost cover the eye.
There was an attitude that came with the hat.
And being a new woman of the era.
Right. Terry has a treasure trove of photos and dresses from Irene Castle, a dancer, silent film star, and fashion model of the 1920s. This is the great Irene Castle.
This is. Irene and her husband Vernon became popularized first over in Europe, and then they came back and they were such a big hit there. They came on the stage in New York City and they made a big, big splash.
Sheiks and Shebas Night at the Siegel Museum in Easton takes place this Saturday night.
Cat's Meow will be up through 2018, and Terry's exhibition will only be up until February 18th, so if you want to get to see it, you should come out soon.
And if you're planning to party at Sheiks and Shebas Night, don't forget your dance shoes.
Have you recently gone on a family trip in or around the greater Lehigh Valley? Have you found a hidden gem for a date night or a new location to spend the afternoon? Do you have photos or videos? Well, Let's Go wants to hear from you. Share your videos and or photos, and we may feature them in a future episode. Visit WLVT.org for more information.
Wow, what fun! Dancing, bouncing, climbing, and riding. We'll have more fun things for you to do next week on Let's Go.
We want people to come in and get that adrenaline rush.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Most of what you see here are located in Pennsylvania, but we also have some New York City scenes and other scenes from around the country.